Alright, I have a child puppy trying to crawl into my lap slowly. Let me bring this down. Alright, I'm still working on the lighting issue. It is a dreary, snowy day here in Germany, and this is not an expat vlog, not yet. This is a video game vlog. And I wanted to do a quick video game. I don't know how fucking quick. I always say that, and it's like 80 years of me rambling on. But I wanted to do something because I saw a really cool game, a really cool indie game. Raven, if you knock my laptop over, because it's sitting on a very empty box, my setup is sad. We will get something together soon, but I'll probably have to film in my husband's office from now on. I just really don't want to film in there, but sorry for another day. But I saw a really cool indie horror game that actually really kind of creeped me out one day. So I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to talk about the Resident Evil leaks and the situation with PT. And that's something I've known rumors about for a minute, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But since we're kind of already in the land of like PT, remember the very last vlog I said, please don't anybody come out with any more of these loop and hallway situation games because they're just terrible at best and nobody does anything innovative or interesting with them. Well, enter This Is Not a Love Story. Now, I saw this on I didn't see this on Survival Horror Network. Alpha Beta Gamers YouTube channel. Man, Alpha Beta Gamers YouTube channel is the place for the weirdest games on God's green earth. If you want something real fucking bizarre, go to Alpha Beta Gamers YouTube channel, because I don't know where they be picking their games up from, but they pick up some of the strangest fucking... That's where I saw Auto Afterlife, was on Alpha Beta Gamer. Remember I was talking about that like back in the summer? Weirdness. They just have weirdness. Primary example of the weird shit, not the side bar, but when one of the games that I saw this week that was on Alpha Beta Gamers channel was something about plague babies and the Illuminati. Or no, not even the Illuminati. It was plague babies and the Freemasons. I can't even begin. I watched that whole game and was just confused because it starts out like you're watching some dude's YouTube channel, but then you play as him because he's some dude named Imoret who has like it's a YouTube channel, but it's not a YouTube channel. It was like Y'all Tube or something weird like that. Y'all Telly, because it was a British game. It was the weirdest game I have seen off that channel in a while, and I was just like, where does he find these weird damn games to play? But in the midst of the weirdness, sorry, my phone is like going bananas. In the midst of all the weirdness that he plays, he was also playing This Is Not a Love Story. I don't know what I was expecting with This Is Not a Love Story. So basically, it truly is like PT, except it was good. It was good like PT was. It wasn't like so many other looping hallway games that I've seen people attempt to do, and I just end up like, no. Because usually if I find out if it's a looping hallway game, I turn it off because they're just a mess. But they surprised me because one, it's done in like a pixelated horror, kind of like Nintendo-esque kind of way. It was really good, and the way they did the looping hallway was really good, and they had stuff that legitimately freaked me out. It's like this one part where you have to bring this body bag up from, I don't know where the fuck it came from, but you had to bring this body bag up. I was done. I was actually, after I finished watching that, I was here by myself in this house, and I was like, I'm a little bit afraid right now. And I'm not liking it. I'm a little bit afraid. But that's the whole point of horror games, right? To scare the shit out of somebody, mainly me. So it did. Bravo, whoever did that. This Is Not a Love Story. You did good work, because I was legitimately scared for a little bit kind of like peeking over my shoulder, kind of scared of the dark, and that does not happen often. So thank you for making a game where I was actually legitimately afraid of the dark. Does not happen often. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone buzzing. So, Raven, can we not touch Mommy's sad little setup she has going? Please don't fall that way because you're going to knock over. Y'all see my dog? She's having a moment. She wants all the attention because she's a baby. So, let's give her a moment. Yeah, I know you're such a love. And let's leave that at that. So, if you have the gumption to check it out. Because it was really good. This is not a love story. So, and like I said, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting a looping hallway. Then when I saw it was a looping hallway, I wasn't expecting a good looping hallway. So, it doubly surprised me. And I was just like, oh, snap. Yes. Yes, more of that kind of thing, please. So, there was that. Now, on to the leaks. Now, I'll start with the Resident Evil leaks first because this is relatively short. So, the Resident Evil, basically Capcom was recently hacked and a bunch of news came out about, in fact, their whole schedule for like next year and the year and like a couple years after that had made the rounds online. I kind of missed this, but kind of came back into it. So, apparently there's going to be a new Street Fighter. I have lost my passion for fighting games, which is kind of funny because they're coming out with Final Fight and that's a beat 'em up, and I really kind of was like, ooh, a new beat 'em up to go with Streets of Rage 4. We'll have to see, but fighting games, I'm kind of like, no, I'm all set on the fighting game situation. I used to love fighting games. This is a woman talking to you who, when she was a teenager, was playing Street Fighter 2 Anniversary, just some shit. I don't know. It was one of them fucking Street Fighter games. My best friend called. I ran downstairs. She's like, I'm on my way to my house. I was like, okay. Hung up the phone. And actually, I had, before this, sorry, I skipped a part. I was fighting and I had died. Right as I had died, she called me. I ran down the stairs, answered the phone. She's like, on my way. I was like, okay, bye. Hung up the phone. And you know when you die on Street Fighter, that countdown starts. So I ran downstairs after I died, answered the phone, and I can hear it still counting down. I run back upstairs. I hit the wall. I hit the hamper that was on the other wall. I hit the threshold of this door, fell into the threshold of the door, onto the floor as this going one. I reached out and just barely get that one. But I got it. I ended up real fucked up, but I got it. If I did that now, I would just be on the floor dead. I'm too old to have that kind of shenanigans happen. If I felt like that now, every bone in my damn body would shatter and it would just be a shame. But, oh fucking well. Yes, video games' greatest injuries. Playing fucking Street Fighter. Would I do that now for a Street Fighter game? Hell no! I wouldn't do that for no damn Street Fighter game. So, no. But new Street Fighter 6 is coming around. I guess somebody somewhere is happy for that. I just lost my passion for fighting games. Final Fight, like I said, is they're rebooting that. I'm like kind of excited for it because it's not a fighting game. It's a beat 'em up, and I love me some fucking beat 'em ups. So as for Resident Evil, it was assumed that they were going to do a new Outbreak, but Outbreak was not happening, so they decided to go all in on a Resident Evil Revelations Part 3, or number 3, or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, I don't have anything personally against Resident Evil Revelations series, but I've never gotten through an entire Resident Evil Revelations game. I have tried to watch the first one, I want to say twice. We'll say at maximum 3 times. The last time I tried to watch it, I had it on for an hour before I was just like, I don't care about this, and turned it off. It's the one where they were on that boat, which I think is the first one. I've not gotten through that one. I cannot watch that one. I was like, they're on this boat. This boat ain't doing nothing for me. Fuck this boat, and just left. That was the last time I tried to watch the first Revelations. I do believe it was in December too. I tried again to watch Resident Evil Revelations 2. That's the one with Alex Wesker. I have written some fan fiction with Alex Wesker. I can't get through that one. I watched that for a half an hour and was like, I can't deal with this. What the hell? And turned it off and never went back to it. So I'm guessing Resident Evil Revelations 3, I'm going to probably watch for 15 minutes before my brain is like, why do you keep trying with this? And I'm like, I don't know, because like, I want it to be like, I don't know what I want it to be like, but it might be like something. And my brain will be like, bitch, sit the fuck down. And again, it's not that I dislike Resident Evil Revelations. It's just for whatever reason in my head, I cannot sit and force myself to watch Resident Evil Revelations. I don't know why. So, and like I said, I'm not hating on it. I'm not mad at it. It's just one of those weird situations where my brain, for whatever reason, is like, no, how about that? So that's coming around at some point. I forget what the release date-ish for that was. But they I don't know. They're still doing Resident Evil 4. I'm still confused as to why you're doing Resident Evil 8 Village, The Village, some fucking village, to go back to 4, which is already in a village. Why we got 2 villages? We only need 1 fucking village per like 4 games. I'm with everybody else. Why the fuck didn't y'all do Code Veronica? Because that seems to be the one that everybody really wanted to be remade. Although I am not pro remakes, but that one made the most sense logically after coming out with a game literally called The Village or what the fuck ever Village. So, Capcom, what is your life about? Because I really don't understand what your life is about 99.999% of the time. So that's the hot Resident Evil news. I guess. I don't fucking know. But I guess that's happening. So we got that going for us. I don't know if they came out with news about Resident Evil 8. I think there was some leaks about that, but they got cleaned up real quick. So I don't know what it was about. I think I kind of heard something, but like most people, because I am heavily entrenched in Resident Evil Twitter. My Twitter account was literally supposed to be like a cross section of Lolita and fucking Resident Evil and some other fuckery. But it has quickly turned into primarily Resident Evil land. So a lot of the people in Resident Evil land don't want to know the leaks about 8. And I'm neither one way or the other because I have a weird situation in my head that unless I see it for myself, I tend to not believe it. So, and that's why you can always tell me what happens, like in any book, any movie, anything. You can tell me verbatim what happens, and unless I see it, it didn't really happen. I don't know why my brain is that level of like, that ain't fucking happened, but I literally work like that. So, lastly, on to the news about Silent Hill, Konami, and Hideo. Oh, I know his name is Hideo Kojima. I just like fucking with that man and calling him Hideo Kojima because I am actually not a fan of Hideo Kojima. So, yes, I know it's Hideo, but I call him Hideo. So, let's all live with our fucking problems. So, now, it has been some kind of rumor floating around, and this has actually been floating around for a couple of months, mind you, that Konami has decided that they're going to do something with PT, and that Kojima came back to the fold or whatever, and there's like a go-between between Konami and Kojima, and that go-between is Sony, because Sony is like, please, Lord Jesus, we need this game. Now, this was literally, I do want to say, either the first quarter of the year or at least May, and I'm thinking May is too far. It was either at least March, probably April, that I saw somewhere somebody had said that they're working on PT and they're possibly going to come out with PT as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I was like, and they were like, and Kojima is behind it, but he's working with Konami. And I'm like, That's a load of horse shit because we all know the fucking situation between Kojima and Konami was not good at the end of 2015. Basically, he probably wanted to choke somebody out and he couldn't get nobody throat. And you know Kojima's a robot, so if he chokes you out, you ain't gonna make it. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, so they have a history of not just bad blood, but like toxic, like really fucked up toxic blood between them. So I can't see, even with, I'm sure even with multiple go-betweens, I can't see a scenario where Kojima is really trying to work with Konami ever again in life. There's also some Metal Gear, I'm about to say Resident Evil. There's also some Metal Gear news in the mix that they're rebooting Metal Gear, and I'm pretty much out on the Metal Gear. And again, was the queen of Metal Gear. I am out on the Metal Gear situation. One, because it looks like there's a new studio behind it, and two, as robotic as Kojima is, Kojima kind of needs to do Metal Gear because he's like the only one that could probably do Metal Gear justice because it came out of his warp brain. But we'll get into my issues with Kojima in a minute. But I can't see a scenario, even with multiple go-betweens, that he would ever work with Konami ever again. And they said like some news about this is gonna come up at the Game Awards. I think it was for the Metal Gear situation though, that they were gonna come out with like a trailer or some shit for the Metal Gear reboot. But this PT thing has literally been going around the whole of 2020, and it got to a point where Konami basically was like, fuck you, we still not coming out with that. Remember we talked about that recently, where basically Konami was like, guess what, we not coming out with PT, so fuck y'all kids, y'all don't get no games. We gonna do pachinko machines and gyms now, because again, if you don't know, I went to Japan in 2015, the same year all this fuckery happened, and we were riding on the train, and there was a Konami gym. Konami runs gyms in Japan, like working out, getting ripped, or whatever the fuck you kids, getting shredded, or whatever y'all bodybuilding people be talking. I don't fucking know. But yeah, they do gyms in Japan. Like literally, like you could go on Konami gym equipment and get shredded. That's the word I'm looking for. Like some shredded wheat shredded, baby. So, but I guess they wanted to throw their money into pachinko machines and phone games. Which, hey, go as the business major in my head is always saying about situations like this. You gotta go where the cash is. But you shouldn't really throw the baby out with the bathwater by saying, fuck y'all console motherfuckers, we ain't giving you shit. But that's just me. I think you should treat your clientele and your fan base way better than that. You should be a lot more respectful to their needs. I'm not saying you got to come out with a fucking console game every year like Capcom do. It would be helpful, but nobody's saying that shit. Like, you can come out, take your time, come out with some shit every 3 years or so. Nobody's gonna fault you for, I mean, yeah, you're always going to have a certain subset of people that will be mad about the pachinko machines and phone games. But if you come out with something good every couple years, then it's like, what the fuck you going to do? So, I don't know. It would be nice if Konami got their head out of their ass and actually came out with PT so we can stop having god-awful looping hallway games. But them with Kojima, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think this is just a vicious rumor that we all desperately want to be true, especially when Konami came out a couple months ago saying, fuck y'all, we still not coming out with it. So I just think this is a vicious rumor. Now, my problems with Kojima as a whole, if stranger things have happened in the gaming community, that it is actually true. They got a bunch of mediators together to sit down with Konami and Kojima, and they all just sat in a room and had a big old fucking love-in and was like, oh, we gonna do this because we need to do this to like get some cash in our lives. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that is true. That this rumor turns out to be true. My problem with the shit is solely this. If you've never, ever played a Kojima game, Metal Gear, fucking East Standing, Zone of the Enders, if you've never played a Kojima game, you do not understand how much that man overtalks and has to explain every fucking nuanced thing in his damn face. So, the last game Kojima came out with was Eat Standing. I finally found out what the crux to that whole thing was, because my best friend, I think she either got through the whole thing or got through an hour. I can't remember. But either way, I'm commending her, because I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes. Because once Norman Reedus, first there was an explosion and some shit happened. And then there was an explosion. Then some other shit happened. And then there was an explosion. I couldn't get past the explosion. I'm like, how do you make an explosion the most boring, mundane, dry as fuck thing on the face of the planet? I don't know. I was done. I couldn't get through 10 minutes of it. Same thing happened when he redid Castlevania. That one Castlevania that I can't get off the first damn board on. The one where basically it fucked up the canon where Dracula was the Belmont. One of them fucking Gabriel Belmont turned into Dracula shit. That had too much talking. The cutscenes are ridiculous. The cutscenes in Eat Standing are ridiculous. I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 3. I have 5 fucking copies of Metal Gear Solid 3. But it's ridiculous. And that's actually on the low rung of his cutscene to gameplay ratio. He will begrudgingly let you do something with the fucking controller, but then but the trade-off is you gotta sit through a 2-hour long cutscene. And it's just like, and more than likely it's not skippable, but it's just like, that is my beef with Kojima. And that is the thing that people who've never played any of his games, like, oh, I love Silent Hill. It's cool to love Silent Hill, but I'm telling you, if you don't know, you're gonna be in for a rude fucking awakening, because you're gonna be expecting to do shit and play with the fucking controller and move your character around, and that's just not how the shit goes on a Kojima game. And I'm just throwing it out there that yes, it will be weird. It will be creepy. It will be more than likely very well done, but you're going to not have a lot in terms of gameplay. It's going to really be a situation where you're like, sitting there like, okay, yes, we're in control of this character. Up, cutscene. Okay, this shouldn't take long. 12 hours later. Oh, this cutscene is still going on. Whoa, let me go to the bathroom. Another 6 hours later. This fucking cutscene is still going on. Be prepared for it. I'm just saying. Because y'all thinking, oh, I'm just going to play this game. It's going to be great. And that's just not how a Kojima game gets done. So, we will see what shakes out. Thank Video Game Awards. I honestly think they're going to just announce Metal Gear. I really don't think. I think it's a pipe dream that PT with Kojima at the helm is a thing. I want to believe in the project, but they already came out and said it's not true. So, I mean, unless they're lying, I mean, weirder shit has happened, but I'm saying, if it is true, be prepared for some shit, is all I'm saying. So, that is all I have for this video game vlog, and we'll see. All right, I'll take another day. Later.